Go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spinner Rack. Today we're talking about Mandalorian. Yes, we're going to be talking about the finale. I'm here with my boy Petey. Petey, give a shout out to the peeps.
Hold on, we're having some technical difficulties, but hey everybody, what's up?
Hey, so I just wanted to say we're going to be talking. Just want to just give you a quick recap of episode 15, which is the rescue. But before that, we're going to talk about the episode previously. Before that, just a quick touch so you understand what happened. So in that episode, I remember, I don't know if you recall, they had to break out one of the former prisoners that they had, that bad guys that they had to deal with previously in Believer. The guy's name was Mayfield. He was captured because when Mandalorian in the previous season 1, they were breaking into a prison transport ship. You know, they got him caught with the New Republic. So now he was in jail. Now he's on the prison planet. Instead of breaking rocks, is breaking up droids or breaking up metal or whatever it is. And so what we're doing now is they need him because he was a former Imperial ISB agent. That's Imperial Security Bureau, and that's the same thing that our boy Moff Gideon is. Imperial Security, working with the Imperial Security Bureau. They need him to get the code so they can know exactly where Moff Gideon is. So they go, they break him out, they take him out, and he helps them on an adventure where they're able to finally get the code. And the crazy thing about that is, Petey, what's the crazy thing about that?
What was the crazy thing about that?
Mando showed.
He had to show his face.
He had to show his face, you know, and he did it. Why? Because Bill Burr, aka Mayfield, kept on saying, "You're no different from me." You know, if the circumstances are,
that's not why he did it.
He did it because he had to. He was trying to help the youngin, and he had to take off his hat. But the point is that Bill Burr was trying to say, "Oh, excuse me, Mayfield." Mayfield was saying is that we're not that different. You know, when things hit the wall, we're going to basically do the same thing. When you don't have any choice, you got to do what you got to do. So he helps our friend.
When he hit the wall, Bill Burr decided that he couldn't do it because he would be recognized. Ultimately, he wasn't recognized. When it came down to it, the Mandalorian actually did it and chanced it, and even in that case, he got challenged by the Imperial worker, which led them to, you know, a little bit of the, but it was kind of a Django moment because Mayfield's character was having a tough time seeing this former
superior
for him, and it caused him to take a reaction that led to a harsh exit for the two. But they got what they needed, and but it was interesting for them to be on the other side of the coin, where they were trying to get the stuff, to get in there. They had to fulfill the task of getting this energy into this complex, which was getting attacked by these natives or the native people of that land. Huh?
It's like pirates.
But then when we saw them at the end, when they were getting mowed down by the Imperial, we realized that they're not necessarily the pirates we think they are. Because they were trying to blow up. They weren't trying to take that stuff. Right. They were just trying to blow that stuff up. So, and then a lot of them got mowed down. So it was a powerful episode. I really liked that one.
Yeah. So getting to the main cheese, you know, the big one. We're talking about chapter 16, the rescue. Oh my goodness. I mean, there's so much to say. Like I said, we're going to put a spoiler warning on this bad boy. And I just know that everything we're going to be talking about will impact the show, will impact your understanding of the show and what's going to happen. The question is, did you like it or did you not like it? So just to give you a quick, we're going to just start off with some of the top things that we saw at the very beginning. You know, one of the first things we see is that we see Boba Fett. They've enlisted help. They got Boba Fett's help. They got Cara Dune's help. They got Ming-Na, I believe is her name.
But that's her real name.
Yeah.
Fennec, is that Fennec?
Fennec, exactly.
Yeah. So Fennec is in there. They go get and they're getting everybody to go on this you know.
But they go not yet. They go to Bo-Katan on a planet where she's drinking with her what's her name? She's drinking with one of her fellow Casca Reeves. That's her name. Okay. Casca Reeves. She's the one who plays Fennec, not Fennec Shan. She plays Bo-Katan's, like, you know, pal or number 2. And they're basically, I need your help. And Mando said that, and she was like, "Yo, I ain't helping you. You know, bounty hunters, basically." And he was like, "Yo, what's up?" But guess what happened? Koska Reeves sees Boba Fett, and they already feel, because she's the Mandalorian, and they're like, "Yo, we're fighting for more honor. Well, you guys are bounty hunters. You're just out there to get some grubby money, you know." But Mando was like, "Yo, we'll help you. Remember, I'm going to help you do this. I'm going to help you regain the planet. I'm going to the Mandalore. I'm going to help you get back on the throne. Basically, as long as you help me get back the little one." And she's like, she's thinking about it. And he also says, "Yo, I know where Moff Gideon is, bro, with the dark saber." And she's like, well, he didn't say the dark saber, but he know where Moff Gideon is. She was like, "All right, cool." So she starts making plans. But in the meantime, there's this crazy battle between Costa Reeves and Boba Fett. Old, well, he's not really a Mandalorian, old clone, first Mandalorian or whatever, versus a new Mandalorian, Costa Reeves. And it was a pretty interesting fight where they're using their fight. She's using her jetpack. What do you think about that, Petey?
No, it was an interesting fight. It was interesting that Boba took the lead first, and then of course she came back towards the end, and then they kind of stopped it at that point. But it's one of the things is Boba Fett had such a great look early on. It's also kind of funny seeing him back in the armor, because it's just like, wow, that look they came up with that staff was really cool. But it was still cool having him back as Boba Fett. So they're all gonna go on this mission, and this is they still have to save baby Yoda from the Empire yet again. So ultimately, they're going out, and of course, they have to run in that doctor that was taking
Dr. Pershing.
He took like experiments on the baby Yoda, so they find his ship, and of course that leads them into the key person that they need to find out what would happen to baby Yoda and this, that, and the other. But this will also be their end. When I first saw it, I didn't get that this was going to be their end to get into the Imperial cruiser, and that was they exploited to the best effect. So
because they're jumping onto the shuttle that had Dr. Pershing, that Moff Gideon's going to let land on the cruiser, the Imperial cruiser. So because he's a doctor who does cloning from there, and it ties into the what is it, Camino? Those are the guys who made all the clones for the Clone Wars and stuff like that. But there's one line that we missed that we were talking about where when Boba Fett meets Bo-Katan, and she's like, "Yo, I hear you guys all the time. I hear your voice all the time," because he's a clone. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but that was like, that's sort of for us, anyone that wants to know that the Clone Wars and the Attack of the Clones was kind of real. This is kind of saying, little like almost a comic book effect of saying, hey, this stuff is real. He's a clone of Jango Fett, and bringing up all that stuff. That
it just confirms what it is, bro. This is like, it's
how did everyone find out that he's a clone? That's what I want to know.
Because he's one of the most famous bounty hunters along.
That doesn't mean they know he's a clone.
But in the Clone Wars, she knows them. She's fought them already, so that's why. So okay, cool. There it is. I sent that there.
I gotta go for the Clone War thing that everybody knows everything. Everyone read the comic book, and they know what happened. So they go in the cruiser. Boba Fett is seeming like he's attacking them, but it's all a ruse. But at the same time, the comms officer, that fella is like, no, don't land in there. You remember you saw that guy, the comms officer? I'm just saying, this chick, Katie O'Brien, she always plays a tough sort of girl, but she's sort of like in the guy's attire. So she's kind of like, no, you can't land in here, and they're forcing it through. They're forcing the shuttle through, and you also get to see the cool the what's the name, the TIE fighters kind of like coming at, is it the TIE fighters sort of like being shipped out.
Right. And out of the bay, out of the cruiser bay. It's kind of interesting because we normally see the Imperial Star Destroyer, and this is a much smaller ship. And to see how their thing is set up, and the fact that you have that like little bay that they can come in and out of, it looks kind of small for a shuttle,
So they get in, and then the action ensues.
Oh my gosh, the Magnificent Four, bro. the
The
Magnificent
girls,
Four.
now this they do the
Excuse me,
girls,
women.
they do the babes run in the Imperial Cruiser, and they're kicking ass. And everybody loves kick-ass babes. They're doing their thing, and
What do you think about it? Do you think that, when their fight scenes, it looked legit?
no,
I didn't.
those are some fun scenes. Not as vicious as the Robert Rodriguez one, where we're breaking helmets and whatnot, but it was cool. It was a lot of cool fights, and then they get there, and all the stuff is for naught. They've taken over the thing. The women have taken over, but at the same time, there's no Moff Gideon. Where is he?
Yeah. So the plan was that the ladies would go towards Moff Gideon, who would be at the bridge, and the Mandalorian will sneak out to the right, and he would go out and get stop the Dark Troopers, the Death Troopers, and go to Baby Yoda, right? Excuse me, Grogu. And so, of course, the ladies do their magnificent thing, like you're saying. Oh man, there's a fantastic scene when the two Mandalorians, they like fall off this bridge,
Yeah.
and they come back and they knock off a whole bunch of stormtroopers. It's just off the chain. Action, you can't deny it, bro.
But since they're at the bridge and they don't have the person they want, they know things aren't going to go too well, right? So then Mando's doing his thing, and who does he find? Moth with Baby Yoda.
Bro. We forgot a whole fight here, bro.
What other fight did I forget?
The Death Troopers, the Dark Troopers, man.
Not yet. They come later.
No, when he first meets them, remember he tries to stop him at the door, right? And they starts banging on. He starts kicking. One of them comes out.
Before or after?
That's before.
That's before? Oh,
yes.
No. So then you're saying he sets off the Dark Troopers, right?
No, the Dark Troopers, Moff Gideon sees him coming. He starts the Dark Troopers.
Like the Moff Gideon turns them on, right?
Right.
What's the name meets him at the door. One of them is holding the door, but obviously since but it's almost like it's almost like Stomp the Yard. You ever see that movie Stomp the Yard? Because they have music going on. So then at the same time, you bought into these Dark Troopers, right? So this is the buildup of the episode. This to me is the best part because the Dark Troopers are cool as hell, right? So there's one in there playing off all of the cool stuff that you see in like RoboCop. All that sort of stop motion stuff happening. One gets out, the door is closed. The other ones are trying to break the glass, right? He comes in there. Now, this dark stormtrooper seems to be as tough as the Mandalorian because he can't break them. He has to go within. But why can't he break them since he has the hardest metal ever?
Yeah, he can't because his Beskar. He's not, he's not shooting just a metal to protect you. And so what happens, you can see when the Dark Trooper is like bang, he grabs Mando's head and starts like banging him into the wall. Bah, bah, bah. Normally it would have killed him because you see these guys, they're punching through metal doors, they're punching through glass. But,
but I'm saying there's no effect of that metal onto their armor, or that only he had to go underneath to sort of break it. So what
he used a Beskar? He used a Beskar metal spear to get to him. And that's a callback to, remember, this is Pedro Pascal. He's the man who plays the Mandalorian, but he also played Oberyn in Game of Thrones.
What is the callback?
It's a callback when you had that fight with the spear when he was fighting the giant in Game of Thrones, bro, with the spear, and he was playing around with him. But here,
so
that's why.
With that said, hold on, let's see. They better not be. With that said, they've nobody, barely, only one person watched. All right, so at this point, Mando's it's not protecting him. He's in trouble. He's getting smashed in the head, the air and such, all the stuff. The effects of this has to be tremendous on him. He finds a weak point. He uses a spear to break off the head, and he takes the head off. Then he hits the button. I don't know how he knows how to do this. Sends the rest of those Dark Troopers out into space. And I was like, they better be coming back because that's a little too much buildup for him to just do a Darth Maul and just get rid of them, right? So keep that in mind because there's one point where it could be a Darth Maul where you just get rid of the cool villain already, right? Hello? Are you
I'm
there?
here. Yeah, I see it. I'm going with you. I'm going with
Well, as he corrected me, right? So then he goes and sees Moff Gideon, right? But he finds Baby Yoda, and what's his name is, and Moff Gideon is sitting there with the black blade, the black lightsaber, or as George Lucas says, laser sword, the black laser sword.
It's called the Dark Saber.
Um, George Lucas would say laser sword.
But this one has a name. It's from the
And
Mandalorian.
no, the lightsabers also say that have name too. And what does George Lucas call them? A laser sword.
So
He does. He says it every time.
So what happened here is that the whole reason Bo-Katan, she wanted to meet up with Moff Gideon. She constantly said to these guys, I'm going to deal with Moff Gideon. So when she gets to the bridge, she's expecting him to be there, but he's not there. He's with Baby Yoda, Grogu, and that's where the Mandalorian is. And so those two have a great battle. But here, remember, the whole reason the Mandalorian discovered Beskar armor was because it can stop what? Lightsaber hits, and that's what happened. Yo, what's his name is hitting the blah, blah, blah with the lightsaber, what, blah, blah. But yet he's able to sustain those hits because the metal helps him.
Well, no, when he does that, but he has to pull out that. He has to pull out that spear. The spear gets him back into the fight.
Right.
And that's where he kind of, because just taking the hits doesn't mean that you can just like somehow win. He has to gain an edge on him, and that's where the spear comes in, and he gets the lightsaber out of his hand. Right? The lightsaber's on the side, turned off, and then he's like, Moff is doing his thing, right? He's kind of like, all right, let's just go back. I'm giving up. You got the Baby Yoda. This and that is over.
You got Moff Gideon, the Baby Yoda, and the Dark Saber. He takes him back to the
But at that point, if the Dark Saber is turned off.
Right.
When he comes back onto the bridge, the Dark Saber is turned on for some reason. Why does he have it on?
Dramatic effect, bro. Dramatic effect. So he gets onto the bridge.
But that's the thing. He
wants to give it
to the girl
to Bo-Katan
to turn off and still do it, but they had to have an extra effect. He's already got the cool armor. Do you need that dramatic effect?
Yes.
He cares about the kid.
It's not the dramatic effect for him, but it's a dramatic effect for her, because remember, she wanted to fight. She wanted to go Moff Gideon, so he wants to hand it back to her. And what we find out is, because Moff Gideon is the one who's basically giving us the background. He says you can't just hand it to her. She needs to be beaten by you. You need to be beaten by her. That's what happened.
She could beat him in the regular time. Why does it like it's just one? The thing is that she didn't follow the tradition. Why is she now following the tradition?
Well, it is. So the question is it tradition or is it not tradition? In the Clone Wars, she's given it, right? Sabine in not Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, she's actually given it. And
Star
so
Wars what?
In Star Wars Rebels.
Okay.
She's actually given it. It's an animated show. It's after the
no, I didn't hear Rebels. I want to make sure.
She was actually given it. And so she became, because remember, Bo-Katan basically gets her authority because her sister was the Duchess who ran all of Mandalore, right? She eventually dies, then is taken over by Darth Maul, and then she tries to take it back, and then she uses the Darth Saber as a symbol to bring and unite the team, the people back. The problem is that she keeps losing it. And it may be because simply that if the story is correct, what they're saying here is that you have to win it in battle. You can't just take it. And so she keeps winning it and losing it. And so you're like, okay, there's something wrong with this girl. You know what I'm trying to say? She can't hold on to the power. So probably there is something to the legend where she has to have it. Some people have been saying it online, like, oh, she doesn't need to do it. And I thought so too, but it could be a reason why she keeps losing is that she never actually won the saber herself. And that's probably why now she's looking at it and Moff Gideon saying, she has to beat you in battle. You took away what she wanted. You can't just give it to him. Mando don't care. He's like, yo, you can have it. I don't give a hoot fun. But she's like,
sorry.
And that's all a build up to next, even the next season or season after, where they're going to do an invasion or they're going to try to fight to retake Mandalore. So,
Okay, so at this point, we have everything resolved, but the Dark Stormtroopers, they make their way back into the Imperial.
Cool.
They're coming in, they're busting in, they can break through metal. They're going in there, they're doing their thing. They're about to break into the bridge. They're busting down the door. And then, like a gift from heaven, an X-wing fighter comes in there, and someone with a cloak comes in and just kills all the dramatic effect of having these dark stormtroopers.
The guy with a gloved hand came back.
The glove, we see the glove hand at some point,
and a green lightsaber. Once you saw that, you knew what was up.
Going through all of them, just like
going through.
We need this. This is another Darth Maul mistake of just mowing down these cool droids.
No. I totally disagree.
Yes.
No. So what happens is that you were showing this scene. This scene does a couple of things. It kind of reminds us. You remember Rogue One? Did you see Rogue One?
Yes, I saw Rogue One.
You saw when Vader went into at the very end of the movie when he went into the Alderaan ship and he just started like mowing people down, blah 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 blah. You know, and that's basically the beginning of Star. No, that's not the beginning. Yeah, Star Wars. You know, that calls back to that. You just see, and then you see what happens when you have
this fan service.
So what's the wrong with that? I don't understand why people could fan service like it's a negative thing. It's a
How
complete positive thing. So you want fans want to come back and see something positive that they like. I have no problem, bro. As a fan, I think that's absolutely right. There's other problems with the show that you could bring up, but this right here, you're wrong. This is here, you're wrong.
Right.
You're wrong.
This is right.
You're wrong. I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks onto you.
All right. So how was this set up in the story for this character? Can we reveal who this character is who mowed down all the dark stormtroopers?
If you don't know who it is with the doggone gloved hand, wearing all black with the green lightsaber, there's a problem.
I'm giving it to you.
It's Luke Skywalker.
All right, so now
Master Luke Skywalker, not just any like he is the Master Luke Skywalker. He was trained by Yoda himself.
How was this set up? How was this set up in the story?
The story that remember, so we go back 2 episodes back, right? And 3 episodes, so because he's told, the Mandalorian is told by Ashoka that he needs to take Grogu to a specific planet where he will use the Force. It magnifies his power and it could connect with somebody, and that's what he did. He ends up connecting with Luke, which makes sense. Luke is around at that time building his Jedi Academy, you know, which of course his nephew will end up destroying. But you know, hopefully
Grogu. We don't know if they're retconning that yet. But anyway, we don't know if they're retconning that. So, all right. So you're saying when Yoda got on, baby Yoda or Grogu got on, stop it. Grogu got on top of that mountain and he called to it at the exact time that they needed Luke to come in and save the day. He comes in.
I think Luke was looking for him. I mean, come on, it's just dramatic effect. I'm not going to go over all that stuff. The question isn't that.
We are going to go over that.
The question you need to ask is, why Luke? Of everybody else, why are we bringing in?
Left.
No, there are other Jedi. And I'm saying, why are we bringing, once again, the Skywalkers into this? You know? We've had the whole thing with the
you don't want the Skywalkers in this.
The key thing is, are we moving forward past the Skywalkers, or are we going to always be tethered to the Skywalkers? I'm not necessarily against it. I'm just saying that you have some limitations here. So right now, when they brought Luke, they brought back a young-looking Luke. It was not CGI de-aged Luke. This was not, of course.
It was the CGI Luke, wasn't it?
It is. That's what I'm saying. It is Mark. It wasn't Mark Hamill. It's current what he looks now. You know? And so you can't necessarily go forward with a lot of stories like that. He has to be. You can tell he was a little stiff or whatever. But hey, I'm great to see that he's there. I'm great that they're incorporating him into the Mandalorian experience. You know, it's great. But the problem is that I thought we were going to go a different direction in terms of not only being Luke, not only being the Skywalker family. The whole thing with the new series, we've had is that the whole thing with the new series that we had is that, was Rey a Skywalker? You know what I'm trying to say? They kept on bringing that up. Was she not? Remember the whole controversy where they were like, oh, she was just born with 2 people, and you find out that she was Darth Sidious' granddaughter, but she wanted to be a Skywalker, and she has a connection with Ben Solo. It's just a lot. You know, and I always thought they would stay away from all that because there was so much controversy regarding those movies, you know, and that thing. And yet, once you reintroduce Luke, a whole world of possibility happens, you know. from
So we
so
got.
I'm just a little hesitant with that.
So you're
Is the
down on
episode
it
good?
like you're down. You liked it, but you're down on it because it kind of is showing you how thin the soup is.
Right. I mean, normally these type of shows, they usually don't have the they don't bring in stuff from the movies like a character as big as Luke. I mean, Luke is, you can't get any bigger. It's Luke, Darth Vader, Leia. Those are like some of the biggest people you have in the shows. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, and once you bring them in, it's like, wow, it's a different thing. That to me is the only hesitant that I have. I mean, other than that, I give it a 9.5.
Okay.
And the music I just thought was just for some odd reason, I thought the music was not as good as it could possibly be. You know, it just didn't feel the mood, like the battle with Luke and the Dark Troopers. I just felt that it could have been much better. It wasn't bad, but it could have just been so much better. But yeah, so I just wanted to say, hey, this is our review of
The last
Mandalorian.
thing, to close this out, what about the post-credit scene?
Oh, the post-credit scenes, all off the chain. They played the fact that they had they went back to Tatooine and they had Boba Fett go back there. He kicks the butt of the number 2 of our friend Bib Fortuna, who was the number 2 for Jabba the Hutt. So remember, when he was back in the Empire Strikes Back, he goes in, supposedly he supposedly dies. He goes into this monster's mouth. He's supposedly eating, but we see they bring him back that he's still alive. He's scarred, but bring him alive. But the number 2 takes over. Bib Fortuna. He has
All right, wait. Let's just get to what it is because we don't got much time here.
Okay.
Let's get to it.
So he takes. So basically, Boba Fett comes in, shoots Bib Fortuna, and takes over.
Take over the same place as Jabba the Hutt. That's
I think he's trying to take over all of Jabba the Hutt's thing. He wants to be the new crime lord, and that's what it is. Okay.
And we have the Book of Fett, right? Of this guy.
Right. And so he's coming back. And so he's supposedly coming back next year around December. But the question is, will it be a separate series or will it be part of the Mandalorian? Like, you know, first couple of books, they're talking about just that. And the Mando will come back and will start after. So we're not sure exactly whether it's separate or not. But it's going to be limited issue with a focus on Mando. And not Mando, on Boba Fett.
Okay.
All right. So listen, thanks for listening. Thanks for being part of this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, comment, subscribe. Keep up the good work. Hey, we're trying to give you what you guys like. Spin Rack.
Out.
Out.